when they had a Twitch ADC, and he literally like killed everyone middle to late game. Every team fight just killed everyone. So I don't know. I think he may have been smurfing or whatever, but I don't know. He ended up with like 20 kills. It was ridiculous.
So okay, for this first game then, do you want to like watch the laning phase 2, or do you want to like skip ahead since we've already covered a bunch of that last time?
You could if you want to just watch the whole game, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I can do it.
And if you could just kind of like go through laning phase quickly. Obviously you know my weaknesses and stuff.
So do you remember what we talked about for the laning phase stuff?
Yeah, it was just like certain points where I was like overstaying, I was overgreeding for CS and stuff like that. And also making sure that I have abilities and HP before I start to like try to siege on towers or anything. I think those were like kind of.
Do you remember the whole part about when we were like, oh, when we take a look at this lane, you know, how do we want to put this matchup out, right? So for Varus and Leona versus Lulu Cog, how do you want to do that?
So I guess you want to be aggressive early, and you want to, I just want to kind of poke whenever I can for free. But if Leona engages, then I want to start stacking my W on whoever she engages, and then E for a nice chunk of HP.
Right. So then that begs the question: do you want to trade in this lane?
Not really until Leona engages. So if she
engages,
the answer,
yeah. So basically, no, right? You can't trade.
So no, right?
Right, yeah, can't trade. Like whenever we say, you know, trading, right? I think we covered this. Is that it's not like all ins or engages. It's like, oh, should we hit them when they can hit us, right? That's the kind of idea behind it. And then against like shields and heals, right? Never, right? Like so. This is considered like something you don't want to do, right?
That right there.
Because not only do you like get out traded, right? So it looks like, you know, maybe you did more damage to Lulu, like a little bit. But like why is this not good?
She's got 3 pots, she could heal up, and Leona looks like she wants to engage on Cog. Therefore, I don't have my W ready.
There's nothing you can. Yeah, exactly. It's like you give up potential engage, right? And then it's like you actually lost out on the trade because her HP is not as important as your HP, right? So it's like kind of awkward because I mean it shows right here when he just walks up. This is like 3 stack. This is like 2 stack E or 3 stack E, right? That's like dude, that guy he loses here right here.
He could be dead. Yeah, he
but you couldn't do anything because you didn't have E. So
I'm sorry, not my W, my E. I meant.
Yeah. Definitely remember to keep telling yourself, you know, do I want to trade or do I not want to trade? Right. That's like the biggest thing. Because like now you guys are like gankable. If the jungler was down here, right? Now it's like you can't even engage because you have no HP, and then it's like kind of awkward situation where you can actually die to a jungle. So but yeah, it looks like he wants to like back or like fake a bush or something. Oh, this is spicy. This could work if you guys have ignite, right?
I think, or did he have an? I don't even know. He has ignite, yeah. So I think we're gonna wait it out.
Yeah, he doesn't have flash. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh baby, it's actually working. Oh, let's go. Okay, not bad. Okay. I'm confused now. But if Kog'Maw gets a kill, it's not gonna be worth. Oh, this is awkward. Oh my god, nice. Okay, you guys saved it somehow.
Okay.
Good. But yeah, definitely remember that you don't want to trade, right? Also,
this is
what's going on here? Yeah, what's going on here?
Just back. I don't know.
Remember,
I see all these minions, and I'm like, I need them. There's no one here. I don't know. That's too greedy.
It's not about like, yo, we need the minions. It's about like, can you shove this in before someone comes to fight you?
No, because
and then the answer is no. Right? It's not about farm. Like it's not about farming. It's about the wave control, right? It's in the early game. Basically, don't consider it like farming. Consider it like being able to push and being able to not push, right? And by pushing, you'll get all the CS, right? And then if you can't push, you let it push into you, you're still getting all the CS, right? It's not about farming. It's about wave control, right? So this is in this case, wave control. Impossible to push this in before they come back, right?
Right, because Cog's gonna lose all this anyway, and then it's gonna push into me, and then I'm gonna have more minions anyway waiting for me.
Right. So what happens when you do this?
susceptible for a gank, and I push it. Therefore, Cog gets all his CS too.
You're just like they're just gonna freeze on you. You're gonna lose a shit ton of CS, and then you can also die if someone like comes to touch you, right? So it's like super awkward.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the two big things. Remember what we talked about. Do you want to trade in this lane? That's the biggest thing, because I think that's your biggest issue from like the replays that we have seen. It's like you keep trading when you don't want to trade, right? So be very like careful about that, because that's like how you lose lane. And then it's like back timers. Can you push out before you back? If the answer is no, you're just back, right? You're just back. So yeah.
I guess I'm kind of stuck in that mindset of like, if you just pressure hard and bully hard, then I'll like scare them away. But it obviously doesn't work the higher I get. It's you know, that's more of like a bronze, silver, and gold tactic. It's like just like constantly trading and bullying them more than they can bully you, and then
the game doesn't really. That's like how you get punished. Like maybe you can get away with it if they like don't punish you, but you if you do get punished, you're gonna lose the game, right?
Right.
You're gonna lose the lane, and then it's like, oh, that's awkward, right? Same thing here, right? Don't use your abilities, right? Unless you have a very good reason to, right? Like what was the point of that, right? Like what was the value of your E?
Get the CS.
Yeah, I mean, like you could have done it. Not only did you miss one, you could have like just used an auto attack, right? So don't use abilities without a very good reason, right? Don't use abilities without a very good reason. So like stuff like this will happen too. Like if you try and do that, so be very wary about using abilities. Right.
Okay.
So.
Right.
What's going on here? Oh, they can get engaged on, right? They have no flash. This is good. Oh, baby.
I just used E because I was kind of too far away to catch up, so I thought might as well just slow him and try to catch
I think that's fine. I mean, maybe you could have gotten like an auto attack in beforehand, but honestly, that's fine, right? You probably could have gotten an auto attack in, but it's not too big of a difference, right?
Should I have been walking up before that engage even happened, or
if you thought Leona was gonna go in for sure, and you just like, you just run with her, right?
Ignore the CS and just kind of go with it.
You got slowed by Lulu, right? So you couldn't really. It was literally impossible for you to catch up, right? But I wouldn't worry about this too much, right? This is fine, right?
Okay.
Not a big deal, right? Not a big mistake or anything like that. And then we're going for the re-engage. Here we go. Oh baby, now he's low. Here we go. Whew. Good stuff. Good follow up. Right, that's literally all you need to do. Right, make sure you don't waste your E, so you can like follow up on that. We got counter get whatever. There's not much you can do about that. Surprising that you don't have Q though.
Yeah, I don't really level Q. Should I always get Q like level 3?
I mean, how else are you gonna proc your W, right?
With my E.
Right, and then after you use your E, then you get more stacks, and it's like, yeah, then you have no other way to proc your W stack. So yeah, you definitely want to get Q, at least one rank.
Okay.
Otherwise you're kind of like missing out on a lot of damage. So
sure.
It's like, what's the difference? 1 point in W versus 1 point in Q. Like, what's the damage difference? There's like a lot of damage difference, right?
A lot, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, you might want to do that, but backing here is okay. I think it's fine. You could have stayed in this bush, right? But I think it's okay. Honestly, staying in the bush would have been good, right? Because if they walk up, you can just ult them and they just die, right? You kill them before Zin gets here, and then you're good to go. But honestly, backing is fine too, right? You can play safe too. Now we're at the point where like, oh, does my lane change at level 6, right? So does the lane change at level 6?
Yeah, of course. We're so much stronger.
Yeah. You guys are super strong, right?
Super strong.
So now if you land everything on Kog'Maw, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So now every time they want to trade, then you can be like, oh, you want to trade? We're gonna all in, yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna throw my ulti in your face. So you want to wait for Leona before doing anything, and then if you think you can get away with it, you all in when Zin is not here or Zin is too far away to help or whatever, right? So yeah, be very careful when you don't have your support, right?
Just keep.
Here's like a general rule of thumb: if you do not have your support, just sit at the tower. Literally sit at the tower, right?
Okay.
This looks okay.
Yeah.
Let me show an example of a game earlier today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when you don't sit at your tower. Okay. Hold on. Let's see.
Is this you or is
this is me?
else?
This is me.
Okay.
So earlier today, I was supposed to sit at my tower until support gets here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you don't? Okay. Fast forward. We're taking some damage. Fast forward. And all of a sudden, we have no HP, right? Like, he came into lane, and I had 40% HP. So now we can't do anything, right? So you need to stay at your tower until your support gets here. Because say you're like, oh, maybe I can get an XP range. What happens when you go for XP range? They walk up and hit you, right? So it's don't do that, right? This is a mistake. Like, it's a mistake I do too. But as a general rule of thumb, you can't do anything without your support, right? So yeah. Because this will, like, HP is always relevant, right? So in an all-in situation, you guys are supposed to win. But what happens if you don't have enough HP? Don't they just like kill you?
Yeah, exactly.
They just hit you and you die, right? So you're not at that point yet, but getting hit at all, you should definitely avoid that, right? Okay, now Leona's like, oh, let's do this. So this is a maybe. There are a lot of minions though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine. But he definitely really wants this. Oh, you can just do this, I guess. Yeah, they're dead. Nice. Good follow up. Good follow up. You don't have Q, which is why it's taking so long. But yeah, you already know that, so don't worry about that. And then don't chase, right? Don't chase unless you can find a way. Unless you know when you're gonna catch up, right? Because you didn't see Xin yet, right? Well, actually, you did see Xin, so I guess you can chase. But chasing is like there's nothing to get when you chase unless you know you can catch up, right? Leona already used everything, and you literally cannot catch up, so don't chase. But that's like a minor thing. It's a good thing that you followed up, right?
Okay.
Oh boy, the chat is freaking out. So yeah, this is laning in a nutshell, right? So far, I think you are gonna finish laning phase soonish, right?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Leona's top. You're gonna be defending bot. They're not really hitting your tower. Same thing again. Can't walk out, right? We already know that though. Right? Any amount of punish is already too much, right?
Right.
Any amount of punish is already too much. So be careful with that. That actually wasn't that bad, but yeah. Cause like remember how we talked about general concepts in like, oh, when do we want to trade, right? Even when you don't want to, even in like a non-trading scenario, when do you want to trade? Oh, when you want to dive, right? Or like when you what's it called? Right, when you want to dive, basically, is the big one. Or when you have more people, for example, when you have a TP war going on, right? In this case, you don't want to trade because you are getting dove, right? You are in the process of maybe getting dove, right? That's their only play. So no matter what, you cannot trade. Oh my god, they are actually trying to dive. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, so when do you use your ultimate in a dive?
Whoever's aggressing on me and whoever the tower's hitting.
Yeah, so we already know.
I thought she was gonna cute. Oh.
Right, but like.
Wait. Okay. All right. It kind of went black. My screen went black for a second.
Is it fun? Is it
yeah,
good now?
I thought I was pretty sure that they were about to just hop at me and dive. That's why
right,
I was like,
but
I'm not gonna
how fast do you need to ult in order for you to win the dive? You don't really need to ult that fast,
not
right?
Too quick, yeah.
Like not like you can get hit for 3 seconds and then ult and then you'll win the dive, right? So the reason why you need to be patient is because what if she just dances in your face?
And then nothing happens, yeah.
Yeah, and you ult her and then she walks away, right? So you have to be patient, right? You have to be patient. The other thing you can do if you want to if you want to prevent her from walking in your face and trying to pressure you like that, trying to make you waste your ult, you hit her. And then she's like, oh shit, we gotta go now or the dive is not gonna work, right? She's either gonna back off or gonna try and do the dive, right? So and save your like trump cards when you're defending or whenever you're like whenever a fight is breaking out, right? You want to save your best abilities until maximum impact, right? You don't want to use it too late, but it is almost never the case when you watch people play, they will use their abilities too late. It's always too early, right? Or they always miss, right? It's either they miss or they use it too early, right? So be very patient. You know, be so patient with your abilities that you go back and you're like, wait, I didn't use it early enough. All right, that's what I want you to feel, because that's how you practice this, right? Go to the extreme. Be so patient that you're too late on using your abilities, right? I promise you that'll never happen. You're gonna be able to use it at better times, right? Too early is like the worst, right?
Yeah, I'm finding
like
that
that,
Vayne,
right?
whenever I R on Vayne, it's like it's almost always a bad time to R.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Just
R,
save
and then
like
I pump
literally
around
just
nothing and nothing happens.
don't use it until you know without a doubt in your mind it's good.
Like
right?
I need it.
Without a doubt in your mind. That's what I want you to think. Without a doubt in your mind, this is good. So yeah. So Leona is trying to do this stuff. Okay, you guys win this. I'm pretty sure. Oh baby. You don't win this, I guess. But it's kind of close. Oh baby. Oh baby. This is not good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, get him and get out.
Let's get the cog at least.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, you're good to go. All right. Oh. Okay, it's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're just back here. You're just back here. You're back here. Actually, they're not even trying to. They're not even pressing the tower. Okay, this is fine. Right. This is okay if they don't like hit the tower. Right. If you're not afraid of a dive, this is okay. But now you're definitely back. Right.
This is like lower MMR bullshit. Like they should have just killed me, right?
No, they should have looked to push the tower, and then you would have to back because you can't defend, right? But if they don't push the tower, then you can be like, oh, I can defend, I can like clear the wave. But yeah, now all you do is just like press R on someone who has no flash, or even if they have flash, they probably die, right? You just press R on like Kog'Maw and you win every time, right? Oh baby, here we go. Oh baby, oh, this is bullying at this point.
This is why I love Varus.
All right, good stuff, right? This is exactly what you want to do, right? Good stuff. Okay, skip forward, hit this tower. You take this tower. Okay, hold on, what's going on? Wait, what's going on here? Why is it taking so long to take the tower? Okay, so when you are pressuring towers, what is the most important thing? What is your objective?
To take the tower, obviously.
Right. Okay. So what are we watching here that's not taking the tower?
Chasing Lulu and shit.
Right. That's not you. That's not you. But you should be okay. Right here is what I mean.
I'm trying to clear the minions because.
So how many auto attacks was that? Like 5?
I think it was 5. But I guess I was thinking that if I didn't clear the minions, then the tower would have killed the minions, and we would be tanking.
It's 400 damage on the tower, right? You want to clear the minions after you have no more minions, right? This, like you basically hit the tower always, until you can no longer hit the tower, right? For whatever reason, right? Say they're gonna hit you, right? Vel'Koz is coming in, he's gonna hit you. Okay, maybe you can't hit the tower, or you have no more minions, so you back off and clear the minions and continue hitting the tower, right? But you gotta basically don't waste auto attacks on the tower, right? Like maybe this melee minion could have walked in and started taking shots, right? And you would have had a lot more tower damage. But that's like one thing to note. It's like not something you should actively work on yet, but it's like something to know, right? Is when you're hitting the tower, when you're like trying to take towers, you hit the tower always, unless you're like trying to last hit a minion. In which case maybe you last hit the minion, but really you want to hit the tower. Like when in doubt, you take the tower, right? This is kind of awkward. I don't really know how you can help this fight.
Yeah.
He's still trying to make something happen.
I have nothing down.
But you just want to push.
Down. Yeah.
Right? You guys are just trying to push. Okay, yeah, just run. Whoo! This is awkward.
Yep.
Okay, getting out. So when we're in this situation, right? We aren't trying to fight, right? How do we know that?
Because I have nothing up, and he's TF is low, and
right. We're just trying not to fight. So
Leon is not there.
You're just trying and do this as safe as possible. So this is fine, honestly. You get away, and you almost don't. But keep in mind what your objective is, right? So what you're asking is, how do I figure, like before when you're like, oh, what do I do early, like mid game, late game, all that stuff, what to do in what situation? That's like knowing what you want to do. So, when you're hitting the tower, what do you want to do? You know you want to hit the tower. You know you're like trying to take the tower, you're trying to do tower pressure, right? So you hit the tower. That way you'll know you're not supposed to hit minions, right? When your team is like trying to back, right? You should know that you're trying to wave clear and then like back with them, or like make sure you're not trying to do anything crazy, unless it's unless you know for sure it's like a free play, right? So when you figure out, or when you say, this is what I'm going to do, right? When you figure out what you want to do, make sure you stick to it, unless something really big happens, right? What I mean by really big is like Malphite lands a 5-man ult. Oh, maybe that change. Maybe my objective changes, right? Or maybe my teammate dies. We can no longer take the tower, so everyone backs off, right? You have to update your objective, right? So, but unless something really big happens, like really big, like TF ult or something, you don't change your goal, right? Stick to your goal, right?
Okay.
So this guy's about to die. Good stuff. You just hit this guy and he's dead. Yeah. You can play this however you want. Whatever. This is fine. And then you just push, right? So like once you kill someone, right? Your objective changes, right? So what's the objective? Your objective was to kill Kog'Maw, right? Because it's free.
Right.
Now what?
Push and get tower.
Right. Push and then tower pressure, right? Push and tower pressure. What if you can't get the tower? What do you do?
Push and get vision if you can, and then back away and then take jungle camps.
Right. So where do you go to get vision? Like what direction are you going to? You got to be super specific. Like where are you gonna go if you can't get this tower?
Like right now, follow Leona and then go wherever she goes, basically. I mean, like Tribush and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
but but you don't want to enter their jungle, right? You want to be in the river. You want to be dragon side. So yeah. You have to be very specific because like in game, if you like take the wrong path, right? Let's say you wanted to rotate mid, but you take the path through their jungle versus through the river, you have no flash, right? So then
that's exactly
if you find
what
something
happens, like 10 minutes from now.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. So that's why we have to be very specific, right? So after you take the tower, what do you want to do here? It's your situation changes because you see people on the map, right? If we look at the map, you see like
1, 2, 3.
Everyone on the team is topside
4.
except for Kog'Maw, right? So what's the objective here?
Either keep pushing or go up and follow Leona to the right there through river and try to help mid. I don't know.
Yeah, I would keep pushing.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah, because here the mid tower is gone, right?
Yeah.
And they're not gonna push another tower because they don't have enough minions, right?
Right.
And not only that, but you have minions to farm. As the AD carry, you want to farm minions, right?
Right.
So if you can get another wave, you get another wave, right? The only times when you don't get another wave is if the enemy team like starts an objective, like Baron Dragon, Rift Herald, or like what's something like super important as well, like a big team fight's breaking out and the enemy has like Kassadin or something. You don't want Kassadin to get kills, right? So the only time you leave a free wave is like it's like low chance that'll happen. You almost always get the extra wave, right? So you should almost always get the extra wave. Like if the enemy spawns Rift Herald mid, you need to go stop that. So maybe you don't get the extra wave. But otherwise you always go for the extra wave, right? Because you're losing minions here, right? That's like 7 minions you could have gotten. I don't know what's going on here, but this guy is trying to kill himself. Okay, not bad. But this is 2v3, so it's kind of awkward. Yeah, this is kind of awkward. In this case, it's like, it seems good, but why is it not good?
We have no vision. We don't know where the other team is. I mean, the other people.
Yeah, you know for sure that this is not a fight you can win, right?
And I have no ulti and no flash. No.
Right, exactly. You just have nothing. You just have nothing going for you in this fight, so you don't want to take this. Like the fact that you get her is kind of lucky, but
yeah,
you definitely could have gotten like. I mean, you did get her, but it's like there's no way anything good is gonna come out of this fight, right? So this is one of those. This is one of those things where it's like, what should you be doing at any given time, right? So, so say you had cleared the bot wave, and then you notice your team is dead. What do you do? Or say we're in this position. What should you have done?
Right now?
Yeah.
So I shoved the bot, and I think we got the right. Or no, we didn't. Or
say you didn't shove bot. Say we're like, we pause here, and we're in this situation. What should you have done?
Like, instead of backing right now, you're talking.
Right. If you're on the defensive, if you cannot win a fight, what is your objective? What do you want to do?
Just try to get vision in our jungle.
First step. What is the first step in defense?
Be safe. Always stay alive.
First step is clearing waves, right? So what's the first step in offense?
In offense?
Yeah, when you're winning, how do you push your advantage? What's the first step you take?
More waves.
You always push out. You push out first, right?
Right.
Push out before you do something. And then when you're on the defensive, the first thing you do is clear waves before you do something. And then of course there are exceptions to every rule, right? So what's an exception to not clearing a wave? Rushing Baron at like 20 minutes or something, right? You've seen that before, right? That's a thing. Other things are like, oh, set up a kill bush, like Malphite, get in here, right? We're gonna ult them when they come to ward, right? That might be another example. But 9 times out of 10, clear waves, push waves, right? Clear waves, push waves. That's the first thing you do. So if you're on the defensive, why do we think we're on the defensive here?
No vision all the way in the mid lane, and Jax is dead.
Yeah. The first thing you look at is the number of people you have, and you guys have like you guys have like no one, right? You have like 2 people, and they have like 3 or 4, right? So you know they have 3 at least because Kog'Maw's like right there. So you don't take this fight, right? That's how you know you're on the defensive, is when you don't have more people than them. And then usually when you have more people, you're on the offensive, right? So don't take fights when you're at a massive disadvantage, right? Because now, like, what happens to your team?
They're gonna take Dragon, and we're not gonna be there, stop it or anything like that.
Right, and then it's like, oh, now your team can't really move until you guys spawn, right?
Right.
Your team is on the defensive for like another 30 seconds, right?
Right.
And then during that time, maybe the enemy is gonna go like Ward Rift Herald, and then all of a sudden, even though it's 5v5, you guys have no vision, so it's hard to win a fight. So, there's like super big fallout for not being able to, for like the mid game like decision making. That's like basically if it goes wrong, if there's like a throw, there's like super big repercussions, right, for the rest of the game, right? Because this is a time when like scaling carries get like random kills and stuff, right? So we gotta prevent that at all costs. And since you're Varus, you're the one who wants to be on the offensive, right? Before people get like QSS and stuff, or Kog'Maw starts to outscale you. Woo! Can't speak English, but anyways, let's back it up. So
in that instance, though, I auto attacked Lulu twice, and then Leona engaged. Should I have not auto attacked Lulu at all? Should I have just kept walking?
You just get out, right?
Just get out. Okay.
So what's the reward to hitting Lulu?
Nothing. Well, I mean, obviously it was me getting that kill, but then Xin got the kill after. So
no. What's like the realistically speaking, the only reward you get is like some of her HP, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What's the risk?
Me dying.
Right. Everyone dying. You're losing Dragon, right? So unless you were in the most desperate game ever, you don't really want to go for that kind of low. Yeah. Exactly. High risk, low reward kind of situations.
Okay.
Here you clear bot, right? This is good, right? You need to get money. So, at what point do you stop pushing bot?
I would say if there's any more pressure on the map, right here. I don't know. It's tough. Well, I feel like if I kept pushing, like they're just gonna kill me, or something. I mean, I saw Singed, Vel'Koz. They're kind of mid top, floating around.
Yeah, so we see Singed, Vel'Koz. We see like Lulu. So who's missing? Kog'Maw and who's the jungler?
I don't remember.
Like Xin, right?
Xin, yeah. They're just
okay. So yeah, then you say, oh, okay, then I can't push another wave. So then you go mid, right? You should be going mid. When in doubt, you go mid, right? That's like a kind of, if you're lost on what to do, just go mid. Because from mid you can go to any of the areas in the map, right? From mid you can go anywhere, right? Because like, what happens if you go bot here? 2 things.
Right, they could probably all kill me, except
right.
Obviously.
They could be in this bush, right? Or what happens? They're not in this bush, but where are they instead?
Or they all take Herald and they rush mid or top or something.
Exactly. They take Herald and your team can't do anything, right? So you can't be bot. You have to be mid, right? When in doubt, you go mid, right? When in doubt, you go mid. But since you're bot already, maybe you just keep going, and then you 1v1 Xin. Oh, Xin's mid. Okay, so you keep pushing, right? You just keep pushing, unless you have to save them for whatever reason. You shouldn't have to save them. They should be okay, right? So you push mid, then you go bot. Okay, someone died, whatever. You're gonna push bot, and then you're gonna go mid, right? You gotta save the tower because they're gonna maybe siege. So, are you on the defensive or offensive here?
Defensive here.
So what's the main priority?
Keep myself alive and to get to mid. I can defend it, I guess.
Remember, when we said we're on the offensive, what do you want to do first?
On the offensive, push waves.
Right, and then if you're on the defensive, what do you want to do first?
I think it was push waves again.
Clear waves. This is the difference, because if you're on the defensive and you if you push first, right? If you try and get lane priority, they can engage on you, right?
Right.
So the attackers want to push first because the defending team cannot engage for whatever reason, right? They're weaker, right? So they can't engage. So as the defending team, we want to wave clear when it gets pushed into us, and then look to engage, right? So our first goal is to wave clear, and then engage if we can, right? So that's our goal. Like this guy, he's like, this is the engage, right? He thinks this is a good enough engage. It's not a good enough engage, but this would be an example of like this is when you decide that you're no longer on the defensive, right? You engage. This is not good, but that's like how it's done, right? You need to clear waves until you can find something, right? So classic example is this actually, right? You're the AD carry, you're clearing waves. The enemy Vel'Koz walks up too far and you ult him, right? That would be an example of being able to find and engage instead of wave clearing. Okay, this is awkward because he has that's worded, right? So what was the first priority?
Clear waves.
Right, exactly. So anything that's not along that line, along those lines, is like kind of awkward. Like the engage you find has to be good, right? Because like when you I know you want to look for an ulti here, right?
There's like three of them right there in the fog or something, isn't there?
All right, this could be warded, but most importantly, even if you ult someone, you can't win, right? Because why is that? Why do I say that?
Who's falling? There's no Leona. There's no.
Exactly, there's no Leona, right? So you're still on the defensive, right? So any kind of engage you find has to be insanely good, especially as an AD carry, because you can like win and lose fights, right? This is like gold swing time, right? So first priority is wave clear, right? You know, wave clear. That's how you can like, that's how you can prevent all these kind of problems, right? Oh, what was the other death? You didn't know that you didn't want to fight that Lulu, right? And what was this problem? You didn't know that you wanted to wave clear, right? So as long as you keep these priorities in mind and you don't change them unless something super like big comes up, right? Unless a super big opportunity comes up, don't change your mindset, right? So you figure out your mindset based on if you're winning or losing, right? So can you win a fight? No. So you want to be defensive, right? You want to stall. This guy's walking up like a crazy.
The better option there would have been for me. I was looking for the engage on Vel'Koz. And then kind of like everyone disappeared, and then I should just go to the right? I shouldn't go north. I should go east.
You literally just go to your tower, right? You just need to get to your tower and wave clear, right? If this is not safe, you go the other way, right? If this is not safe, you go the other way around. So yeah.
So just keep heading north right now.
I mean, if you go up this way, he still hits you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe just once he was up there, then I should have just went to the right.
Yeah. You just you literally wanted to take the long way around, right?
Yeah, take the long way.
Like once you realize this Jax was out, you want to take the long way around because you just can't get in there, right? So yeah. Yeah. That's what you want to do, right? For like first priority.
Flank play. That's an
not
gonna work.
I mean, the first question is like, is it even good? Like, if they don't see me, is this good? And then the second question is this gonna work, right? How do I actually do it? So yeah, because like that happened, now we have like a lot of issues coming up. Actually, this Jace teleport is kind of nuts, right? This is the engage I'm talking about, right? This is the engage. You guys are wave clearing until something big happens and you engage. So what was the big thing that happened?
The TP.
No. What was the big thing that happened that allowed the TP?
Everyone was low. We got everyone low.
Yeah, they're diving, right? Look at this. He's fucking taking.
They're diving.
He lost all his HP to the tower, right? They're diving, so that could be a big thing. That could say, "Oh, I would change your plans. We're no longer wave clearing, right?" So definitely, like holy shit, he got executed. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that is a big thing that happened.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like it makes sense, right? It's very logical. The way you should think about the game. At least, right? So then, something big happened. What's with our plan? Oh, we can go get Rift Herald because everyone's dead, right? So,
I think I've just been playing in like, plat, like low plat and high gold and everything for like the longest time. I don't really get the whole like I've been given like a free pass on all these like, things that I've been doing, like walking through bushes and stuff that I shouldn't be and stuff.
Right. Like not getting punished when you should be, right?
Punished for just, moving through the map simply,
Okay, pause. So here, do we want to fight?
TF is ult, Cogs in the mid there, and then I don't know. I'm kind of just like, do we want to fight? I mean,
remember, so
we're fed kind of
in
15 to 21.
in game you have like 2 seconds to decide, right? So think of big picture, right? Okay, first is number of people. So number of people, assuming everyone has TP and shit.
Yeah, I mean it's like it looks like 4-3 there.
Right, it looks pretty good because Kog'Maw is gonna be a little bit late, so it's gonna be like 5-4, including Singed teleport, right? Yeah. And then the second is, can we land all our shit, right? Team that lands all their shit wins. Assuming teams are equal, right? In terms of like damage and like money and whatever, right? So looks good to me, right? You go in there and you ult someone. But do you have ult?
No.
So it could be it's gonna take a little while, but so the moment's passed, right? Moment's passed. Unless you can actually find this guy, but I think the moment's passed. Oh baby, okay, nice. Now once you get something, what's the best thing you can get? Once you found an advantage, what's the best thing you can get? So like when we were talking about offense and defense, right? So for the offense team, we were like, oh, they want to push first, right? That's their advantage. So what's the best thing they can get off pushing? Sometimes it's like wards. Sometimes it's an objective. Sometimes it's jungle camps. Sometimes it's pushing the tower, right? So in this case, you guys got an objective. You guys are pushing in waves. What's the best thing you can get?
Baron.
I think that's a maybe because what can go wrong if you guys start Baron?
Singed teleport, Vel'Koz ultimate kills.
Yeah. So you can't Baron, right? You have no tank. You can't Baron, basically. Okay. Unless you can do it like super fast. You can't. So the best thing you can get is what? Oh, okay, he wants to do a Rift Herald play. Yeah. So you gotta help them basically. Oh, this is awkward. What is going on? Right, and don't forget that sometimes the best thing you can get is like more money, right? Sometimes they have a very good defense, right? Like they have a Nivea or something stupid, right? So maybe just take jungle camps, ward up, and then push out waves, right? So you could have gotten money. You could have gotten a lot of money made. Holy shit, you guys are starting the Baron. So if they don't know, so in what case is this okay?
Well, so their jungler was dead, and I don't know. To me, I guess in the moment, it seemed like the easiest thing. It's just we got the Xin kill. They were all backing to defend the top turret. Singed was bot. I'm like, all 5 to Baron. Rush it. Like, I have Rage Blade. Or, no, I don't. But I have Blade of the Ruin King. I thought we could just melt it real quick.
This works if you have a pink ward. And then it's like, oh, it's obvious that they don't know. But if they, like, had it warded, you guys would be, like, so screwed, right?
Yeah, because then potential TP, Vel'Koz coming in. Right.
Yeah, like what happens is, oh, Kog'Maw, Lulu, Vel'Koz are going to come in from here. Singed is TPing on whatever ward they have. And then someone's going to turn. And then if someone turns, everyone has to turn because no one can take the Baron, right? So then you turn into Vel'Koz. Unless you one-shot him, he's just going to kill everyone, right? Because you're funneling into his path. So if you want to make something like this happen, you kind of want to make sure it's warded, right? So this is one of those things where you're like, oh, sometimes I like don't get punished when I'm like playing at these ranks. This is like one of those things, right? Make sure you want to like one way to prevent something like this, or like make sure you can find opportunities like this is having a pink ward, right? So yeah, that would be optimal. But I mean, I guess it worked, right?
But
I guess you could say like, oh, we were testing, and then if they reacted, we will immediately back off, right? That could be like that could be something you could say, right? You could say we're gonna take the risk that there's no pink ward, and then if they don't react, we finish it. If they do react, we back off, right? So what's the risk to reward there? Risk is you take some damage, right? And reward is you get Baron, right? So you can make decisions like that, but you have to make sure that you like come up with that before you start the Baron, right? Because what happens, like how many times have you seen like a team start Baron and then half of them turn and half of them finish, right? How many times?
Yeah, it just happened like in my last couple of games, like.
Yeah, exactly. You need to make sure it's all like pre-planned. So, but yeah, that's one thing. I would worry less about that than what we're talking about right now, which is figuring out what you want to do and then make sure you stick to it, right? And so far it's good, right? What's the best thing you could get? You said Baron, and you followed through, right? And then you didn't change your plan unless something big happened. Nothing big happened, right? They didn't come TP or anything. So I think that was like along the lines of how we want to think. So I think that's good, right? That's what we want to copy. Whether or not you're right about what's the best thing you can get or what you should be doing in any given situation, as long as you are coming up with something that's better than nothing at all, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be good. This guy's like fucking dead. Whatever. You killed him with the ultimate damage. Nice. Yeah. There's style points there. But yeah. So once you kill him, what's the best thing you can get, right? You always have to update. What can we go? Yeah, just keep pushing, right? It's like obvious in this case, right? But best thing you get is keep pushing, right? I don't know what's going on here, but maybe you can help, maybe you can't. You want to get this tower though.
I just want to get the tower, yeah.
Yeah. You want to get the tower, right? It's like you walk there, nothing happens, just keep hitting the tower, right? And you do realize that, which is good. Right?
Yeah, I'm like,
so this is fine. And you keep pushing, right? It's like whatever you guys can chase. We're just gonna keep pushing.
3 dead, yeah.
So now, what's the best thing you can get?
Inhibitor, maybe.
I would hope so. TFS ultimate
or
soon,
dragon.
Right?
After.
But you want to hit the you want to hit the tower, right? So don't aim Lulu unless you need to get the damage off for whatever reason. You didn't really need to, but. Not really a main factor in here, right? You only lost a few damage. Okay, and then it's like, oh, okay, what happened? So we got some people dying, so we gotta run. Okay, so that's how you think, right? This is good. You wanna run, cause oh baby, this is kind of risky, but it's possible. Oh god, he's a tank. You gotta kill the Xin, and then it works. Oh no.
I think it works though.
It still works, cause they didn't have enough damage. So now you wanna run. Okay, that's fine. Oh god. Okay, that's awkward. I think it was kind of risky, but I think it's also fine. As long as it was like, oh boy, we got people.
And higher.
Honestly, this is whatever. We just don't worry about that. I would say it's like the reason why it could have been risky is if you had all died there, that could have been a comeback, right? So it's like I don't know, but I think that we don't worry about that. I think that's like a judgment call. You get the dragon. Oh boy, you guys are trying to do something? Nope. Okay, good. So when in doubt, go mid, right? So you're going mid. This is good. Jax is gonna split. So what is your goal here, right? When you're on the offense, what do you want to do?
Pushing get vision.
Right. Clear wave. Push first, and then do something next, right? So in this case, you want to push. Look to ultimate if you can't find anything. Then you go back to pushing, right? You go back to clearing. Okay, this is awkward.
And that happens to me throughout this game. You'll see for the rest of it.
Interesting.
They just camp in bushes and they just kill us.
Right. So how do you prevent that?
Just if you just make sure every bush is you know who's in the, so like either wards, blue, your team is walking in, or you use an ability to check the bush.
How do you make it so that they show up to the tower in vision?
Push pressure.
Push first. So what was wrong with this picture?
So this, see, I don't know. We pushed mid and it was pushing a little bit, and then the wave I think crashed or the tower cleared it. It went all dark, and then Leona and we all followed Leona though. Right.
So you pushed, but then you guys sat here instead of going in there, right? So
keep going in there.
That was the issue,
keep
right?
Pushing it.
Okay. And then when you do face check, you want to make sure you're ready to fight, right? So yeah, that's awkward. So yeah. You tried out there, but it didn't work out. Oh boy. Okay, this could be maybe okay. It's kind of crazy. Oh god, here we go. Big plays. Oh big baby. Plays. All right, nice. Good stuff. Good. You guys are so far ahead, it didn't matter. Yeah. But the way you prevent that is you push first,
just
right?
Push first. Keep mid pushing.
Yeah, push first, right? Okay. So you guys didn't go like you weren't there when they pushed, which is why it seems kind of awkward. It is why they cleared so fast, right? Like what can you do when they're clearing?
I don't know. I think I was just heading to lane. So
what are your options? What are your options?
Farm jungle.
Okay, if they're clearing, you can invade the jungle and take their camps. What else?
Vision. We just said.
That's like similar, right? You run into the jungle, you put down a word. What else? If they're clearing waves, can you stop them?
I mean, you could dive. We could dive, but
right, you can engage, right? That's an option, right? So when you see something like this, it's maybe you can engage, right? For example, because their goal is to wave clear, right? So if you can say, oh, I can try and prevent your wave clear by ulting you in the face, right? That could be an answer, right?
I think. Hold on. So if you go back 10 seconds or whatever, 10 more seconds, Lulu pops up here in the jungle. Wait. So here, Lulu comes into vision over here, and I think we were looking for a catch. I think that's why we all went to the right side. It's coming up soon. There she is. And it looked like she was heading to mid lane to flank or something, and then I headed there to catch her. Then after this, I guess I kind of just made the choice to sit here. So I should have just went mid.
I mean, yeah, you just wait for the next wave. It's not your fault that Leona face checked, but in theory, what we want to do is push first and do something, right? Yeah.
Keep pushing, clear it, and then do something.
Yeah, push first and then go do something, right? So what else? Where else can you push besides mid?
Bot.
Right, you can also push bot, right? If you go so when people talk about rotations, it's like, oh, push mid and immediately you go to another lane, right? So that while they're wave clearing mid, you guys can push down S5 on another lane, and they're like busy mid, right? So say if you guys like rotate it to Jax, for example, who's gonna defend? It doesn't matter who it is because you're gonna ult them in the face and they're gonna die, right? That could be that could be one way you can get more out of pushing mid. Or you say you push mid and you go bot, and you threaten the inhibitor immediately, right? Because then they'll be like, oh shit, we gotta go defend inhibitor after we clear mid. So just know that you have these options after when you're aggressing, right? When you're in the winning situation. When you're losing, right, then you want to prevent all these options, right? Like what they're doing, which is camping in this bush, hoping that someone's gonna make a mistake, right? Obviously they're like too far behind, but that is like an option they can do, right? So they wave cleared first and they went to do something. They try to make a pick happen to stall out the push, right? So you guys are just gonna push it out all the way down because they have people are dead, right? And then you guys just you can go mid, you can go top or something. Okay, people are dying. It's kind of awkward. Let's watch this. What's going on here?
Get 2 inhibitors, and I think
someone like got caught. Whatever. Everyone wants to get out. You guys got what you wanted, right? So just run, right? You can't win this fight, so everyone wants to run. So this is fine. And then what's the plan now, right? You guys are in a defensive, so you want to wave clear as safe as possible. Might not be possible, but
here's the first catch.
So this TF is gonna die, maybe.
I'm gonna die right
someone's gonna die, right? So
I checked it there.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward, right? So like, how do we know you're gonna die?
I'm alone in an unvisioned jungle.
No. You could have had 4 people with you. You could have had 3 people with you. How do you know you're gonna die?
Don't have flash. Don't have sums.
You have less people than they do. They have 5 people. Right? They have 5 people. If you have no vision, they have 5 people, right? So they have 5 people. Say you have 5 people. Who has the vision in this game? Who has the vision in this fight? Who has the vision advantage? Who's face checking, right?
Whoever's grouped up.
Right. You guys are face checking, so you're at a disadvantage, right? So unless TF ults, you guys are gonna lose. So they're gonna have 5 people. Everywhere you go, they're gonna have 5 people. So how do you prevent that?
You have 5 people.
No. Remember what we said earlier about the first time they did it at Wraiths? What was the answer?
Because I wasn't pushing. We weren't pressuring enough.
Yeah. So how do you make them show up on the map? Right? We push first.
Keep running down mid or go bot or something or go top.
Right. Push first and then wait until they come to wave clear. Right. So the issue here is that you guys are not doing that. Right. Because it didn't matter how many people you had or who face check. Whoever face check is just gonna die and blow up. Right. So you guys just want to push first, right? When in doubt, you push first, right? In defense, when in doubt, you clear first, right? So now everyone, this is just fucking, I don't know what's going on now, but all it takes is one mistake and this game goes kind of pretty sad, right? People are tilted now, so very likely that you can lose this game. But when in doubt, fall back to those kind of basics, right? When on the attack, you push first, wave clear first.
All right, so I have a question about that.
Yeah.
You can go back to where I got caught in the jungle.
Sure.
So I mean, this situation's pretty bad, right? I mean, we have top. It looks like top is maybe pushing towards them, maybe pushing back, but Singed is bot. But like, there are little spots all around, like the 2 mid lane side bushes aren't warded at all. So like, if I went mid and cleared, couldn't they just like jump out there and kill me?
What's the difference between the middle lane and the jungle?
The middle lane has pushing lanes, and that's where obviously the towers and nexus are.
There's like more space in the mid lane. Okay, so like if we take a look at, if there's like more space for them to gap close, right? Like the distance between you and the bush is in dash range, but the difference between the bush and you and mid is in with the flash E range, right? That's a big difference, right? And also out of Vel'Koz's range, right? And then what? Like even you don't even have to show up on the map. What happens if you guys just AFK for 30 seconds?
They just waste time, and we just
no. Like what if they AFK for a minute? What if you AFK for a minute? Like think about the minions and the super minions, right?
It just pushes right. It pushes towards them.
Exactly. It just goes into their base.
They have to back and clear.
Exactly. And then now you know where they are, so you guys do whatever you want, right? So that's how you have to be patient, right? It's like there's a guaranteed way to make them show up on the map, right? So always like take that option, right?
Okay.
Unless if you don't want to take that option, you have to pretend they're anywhere, right? So say they could have been camping anywhere, right? So then what do you say? Oh, Jax goes split. Jax goes split. Right, Jax goes bot, whatever, or Jax goes top, whatever, or you're really scared you say TF use your ultimate because do you really need your ultimate to close out this game? Not really, right? There's like options you can take besides like having to maybe face check every bush right along the way. You can even run down the lane. How many bushes are there down the lane that are super threatening? There's like one here, right? So you throw a Q in there, and then there's like 3 over here.
Like if you're like pointing to stuff, I can't see anything.
Oh snap! Okay, but yeah, there's not that many. But basically, what it comes down to is if you think they're camping, just push out the waves, and then someone will show up, right? So when someone shows up, they're at a man disadvantage, right? So then if you face check, you can still win, right? Because it's like 4v5 or whatever. So that's like kind of the underlying issue here is always go back to the basics, right? When on defense, you want to wave clear, right? That's your main priority. On offense, you wanna get lane priority. You want to push first, right? That's your first objective. That's what you want to do. Unless something big happens, right? Random team fight, you need a help, anything like that. Keep those like core concepts in mind, right? When you're attacking, when you're defending, right? Because if you guys like every time you like personally make these kinds of mistakes is like a chance for the enemy team to like snowball and win the game, right? So it's like not only you but your team can do. Okay, yeah, this is awkward. Okay, so they could be like right here, but you don't want to chase either. Oh boy. Okay, so
yep.
Whew.
I was the one who made the engage.
Let's see what's going on here. So what's the numbers advantage looking like here?
I mean, it looks like we're about to catch Zen if we.
But what, like, when we say what the number advantage is, how many people do they have? How many people do you have?
Well, what we can see is 5 to 1.
5 to 5 because you don't know where they are, right? 5 to 5.
Right.
Like if you don't know where anyone is, they count, right? As people. Right? They could be in this. They could be in this tiny bush. You have no idea, right? That's actually what I thought was gonna happen. They're here or over the wall. Like these are common spots for like catch mages, right? Like this is a Nivea. Oh shit, everyone's gonna get walled. So when you think about it like that, what is the solution here, right? If you can't like go for this, right? Because this is a 5v5. Because you're aiming the front line with your ultimate, and you guys aren't that strong, right? When it comes to a fight, since they're like scaling or whatever, it's like, what is the solution besides just going on to him, right? Because he's just gonna use his ultimate.
Right.
So what do you want to do instead? What's the first thing you do on offense?
Push out.
Yeah. Oh, and then you say, what's the best thing you can get? It's gonna be like vision or around Baron, right? You put pinks down, and then you guys just hide in the pit or like hide somewhere near Baron. And then they'll have to face check because they have no vision, right? So the problem with this is that there could be a word on Baron, so they know that you're not on Baron, right? So then they don't really care. They can just like hide in a bush and wait for you guys. Basically, it's about like pressuring, right? When you're in offense, you want to pressure as much as possible. So pushing in waves pressures them to clear waves. Otherwise, they're gonna lose money or they're gonna lose structures, right? And then while they're doing that, you guys can do something else, which is basically putting pinks on Baron and stuff. So when in doubt, you need to always go back to these like core fundamentals of like offense and defense, because like it'll prevent like every single mistake we've seen is like kind of tied in with that kind of idea, right? Which is figuring out what you want to do, and then making sure that you stick to it unless something important happens, right? So say this could be something important happens, right? You guys want to wave, you guys want to clear vision, and you're like, oh, I can get a pick. But make sure that when this extra thing happens, when this opportunity arises, it has to be 100%. Otherwise, it's a throw, right? It has to be like without a doubt in your mind. Otherwise, it's a throw. So yeah. It's just like, yeah, he's just gonna kill you, and then your team. It's like now you have no say in what happens in this team fight, right? So this, you have no idea what's gonna happen here. You're gonna lose this probably because your team wants to split. So you guys are not a team fighting team, right? Yeah. There's literally no way to kill that Xin, right? If you take a look, how do you kill this Xin? You need to like TF ult inside his ult radius. I don't know. I don't even know, dude. Right?
Yeah.
Like almost impossible. Like he even did it, right? It was just like you just died immediately. Yeah. So what, like, make sure that any extra thing you do, any opportunity you find is without a doubt in your mind, right? Like the similar with the when you wanted to engage mid with your ultimate when they were pushing you in, right? Make sure it's without a doubt in your mind. They had like more people than you did, so you didn't want to do that. In this case, it was even numbers, so you want your ult to be better than average, right? You want to hit a backline, and that's, or hit Xin when you know it's gonna kill him, right? So you have to be very careful about stuff like that. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, it's gonna be kind of awkward, right? Because like even though like look how fast that fight happened, and they're about to like lose inhib towers if they don't back immediately, right? So you could have just waited at Baron, and then you can just do Baron when they show up bot. Who's gonna show up bot? Xin. Okay, you send Jax, and then Jax is beating up Singe. They're like, oh, we have to fight Baron now, or we have to kill Jax now. So they kill Jax, you guys Baron. They fight Baron, you just like push with Jax and win the game, or you just stall at Baron because they have no tank, right? So there are a lot of like free options that you guys can take that don't like pretty much like low risk, high reward, right? That's like why inhibitors are really important in League. It gives you like super strong options. It's like low risk, high reward options, right? So this could be good. You don't have your ult though, so that's kind of awkward, but it looked good at first. That was close, but not much you can do there. That was a nice try by your team. I think Leona should have ulted though, but it's okay. Right? Maybe she shouldn't have ulted because you guys didn't really have a way to kill her. But it's gonna be the same thing, right? You need to push mid and go do something. So you guys push mid, they show up. You guys clear vision, right? This is correct. And then push mid again, right? If you guys aren't starting that Baron, you gotta be camping or you gotta be pushing again. Oh baby, okay. You gotta kill this Singed. Oh baby, okay, this is good. Oh, never mind. This Xin came out of nowhere.
And then Xin, yeah, I don't even know where like. Oh,
yeah, it came from that bush. He was hiding in the bush, right? So we're at the point where like all the past mistakes are just kind of like made it so it's like hard to win the game, right? Because they're a scaling team. It's Lulu Cog, right? So it's really hard for you guys to deal with that, right? So basically everything leading up to this point was like the big stuff, right? We don't really like, sure, you should have been keeping an eye on the map and like figuring out what Xin is. Don't worry about that yet, right? That's not a problem yet, in my opinion. It's the all the other stuff, which is like is exactly what you said. What should I have done in these situations? So what should you do on offense? First thing,
push. Right,
push first is 9 times out of 10, and then push. On defense,
clear.
Exactly, wave clear until you can find an opportunity, right? Until you can find an engage. So if you do anything that's not those two things and it doesn't work, that's the reason why, right? Either you didn't think it through hard enough, or you didn't follow the basics, right? Because there are instances when teams will set up the camp, right? And the other team does not fall for it, so what happens? They get punished by losing their inhibitors and stuff, right? The other team just pushes mid, and they're like, oh, they're not showing up. Let's keep going, right? They can't engage from our side or whatever. They just keep going. And then all of a sudden, the camp gets punished, right? So when in doubt, you fall back to those basics. And then it's like, oh, in terms of where you want to go, if you don't know what lane you want to go to, the default is like mid, right? And then figure out where to go from there. But remember the basics of push first, like gain lane priority or wave clearing, right? So here's a trivia question: why is a champion like a Nivea really good at defense?
Because she's got amazing wave clear.
Right. So she can wave clear really easily, right? And then why is she good on offense but not if your team like what? Why is she like not good on offense if your team is losing?
not good on offense if your team's losing.
Like if you guys are gonna lose a 5v5, why can you guys not push out with Anivia?
Because her R and her pushing power is all just like in one area. It's not very mobile.
She's kind of yeah, exactly, not mobile. She's kind of easy to get engaged on, right? So if you're like mega losing and they engage on Anivia, you guys are sad, right? So very good for defense. Can be good for offense, but not always, right? So what's good on offense? Let's take a look at the split pushes, right? Jax. Why is Jax like stupid?
Because that attack, his passive, and yeah, his passive, because his passive just destroys towers and stuff.
Right, he's just like auto attack the shit like Fiora, right? They just split push, right? No one can match them. They hit the tower, or they're getting small advantages every time they push, and then all of a sudden the advantages are too much, and they just like kill someone, take the tower, or they like group up with the team and then just kill everyone, right? So that's how you figure out like, oh, why are these champions strong and stuff, right? You know, why are they picked, right? Kind of idea. So in this case, it would have helped you to like know stuff like that, because then we would be like, oh, Jax never group, just like go split so you can draw one of them away. You can draw Singed away, right? Like Jace is doing right now. Yeah. Right? You guys have 3 split pushers. You have Twisted Fate, Jax, and Jace. So it's like, oh, you guys want to go and not group, because even though you found a 5v5 with that ulti on Xin, it wasn't like a free fight, because you guys have the worst team comp, the worst. You know what I mean? You guys have the not as good team comp in the 5v5. So yeah, this it was kind of close, even though you guys just jumped him, right? Oh, and then it's like, oh, this is kind of this is not gonna go well because Leona's in base, right? So prediction is that you guys lose this fight. So you guys lost the fight, right? So it's basically League is very much about the basics, right? It is possible to win a 4v5. But those kind of fights are far and few in between, right? Exactly. So if you always go for the guaranteed kind of plays, that's consistent. You'll win consistently, and that's how you win games, right? So sure, like a mechanically skilled player can go for 1,000 4v5s, and sometimes he'll like win it and feel really good. But then it's like the other times he lost it, he's like losing games, right? So he's not at the rank where maybe he could have been if he played more consistently. So. Yeah.
So I have a question. So on that first catch on me in the jungle there, if I instead went mid and I went past the mid lane mark where we had vision and everything, and then everyone the other team, all 5 of them just walked towards me and somehow cornered me and caught me out and then just killed me, that would have been my fault for bad positioning, right? Even though I was doing the right thing, I was applying pressure.
Wait, say that again? Okay, I'm trying to skip to that point in time, so that we can look at it.
I forgot what minute it was.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Around here, maybe. Yeah, here it is.
Say if we went mid.
Okay, so here I push this initial wave here. Right. Let's see. So, and then I ping my subs to let everyone know that I don't have it, even though I don't even follow it. Okay. So anyway, so let's see. So I push this with TF.
Alright, say you guys kept going mid, right?
Even like at this point right now, it's like there's no vision anywhere. I mean, you know, like in each of the jungles, the top or the bottom side jungle. So if I kept walking down bot here and I was clearing this wave right now, and everyone is still where they are right now. Like Jax is up there, Jace is up there, TF is down there, and they all come from like our blue buff or something, and they walk into lane and then they all just kill me. That would have been not as bad as this because I was doing the right thing, but I got caught for doing. But
it's still like
it's still bad because I still died and they still like 5-man ganked me. But
it's still similar. Like you want to wait until your team is ready to do something, right? Or the alternative is you want to check every bush. You were doing that right here.
Yeah.
Boom. That's exactly what you want to do, right? And you have a blue trinket, boom, use it for another bush. You wait 10 seconds, whatever. But it's like, yeah, like you said, it's like, it's not about less bad or more bad. It's still like, you just want to do, basically you want to have a plan that has no holes in it, right?
So right.
Usually speaking, when we say, oh, you want to push first when you're on the offense, that usually has no holes in it, but sometimes it does, right? So in this case, maybe it does because they're all like sitting in a bush somewhere. So make a plan that doesn't have holes in it. So this plan here maybe doesn't have holes in it because you're checking every bush, right? So it's about keeping your plan like airtight, and then because any amount of bad is like pretty bad, right? Right. So we don't really care about how bad versus like obviously like, oh, you know, if it's mega bad, like what flashing into an enemy team versus like not watching a Sidranio, you know, there's a difference in that, but it's still like kind of, we're just looking to do the right play, and the right play will avoid any kind of bad plays, right?
Okay, and then that's the kind of idea behind it. To the next cache, do you remember what timestamp? It was pretty far ahead, I think.
The next, say again? This one? This
one here. So so we were trying to set up Baron. We have waves kind of equal. The best choice for me here is to go mid, right? Just go mid and clear.
You can do this to see if he comes closer, right?
To see if he comes closer, but he was kind of walking in and out.
Right, so he's just trying to bait you guys or something, right? So it's like basically until guaranteed, right? Everything we do wants to be guaranteed. Right. So at what point is he guaranteed to die?
No, definitely.
No. Like at what point? Like where does he have to be on the map? Like
he has to be like at that ward, basically right there.
I would say not even then, right? Because what if the enemy team's over the wall? You guys just all die, right? So at what point, where does he have to be for you guys to kill him? He has to be like where he's sitting right now, right? Or maybe at the pixel bush, right? While you guys are in the Baron pit. Because remember, if you don't know where they are, they're everywhere. It's like Schrodinger's enemy, Schrodinger's gank, right? It's there and not there at the same time until you know otherwise. So you have to basically any kind of opportunity you find has to be guaranteed, or like 9 times out of 10, right? So yeah, like here, like this is not consistent play, right? So you pushing mid would be a better option, so to speak, right? Like you said, pushing mid could be a better option. Even though you do have super minions there, what's other options? Maybe you guys want to push top, right? Maybe you send Jax to split. Maybe you send TF to split. Maybe you guys put pinks down on the Baron, right? Put pinks down on every single bush. You should have 5 pinks, right? So 1 in the pit, 1 in the top river bush, 1 on the scuttle crab. That's 3. Pixel bush, and then this bush where Jax is in. Boom, 5 pinks. They have to face check everything. You're good to go, right? At the very least, you need 1 and on the Baron, right? And that's you. You can control 1 pink. So you do that until you find a guaranteed play, right? So you thought it was guaranteed, but now you know that Xin ult is pretty strong, right? So next time you face a Xin, you'll be like, oh, he has to be really close, or he has to have no ultimate, so I don't use my ultimate on him, right? Something like that. That's kind of how you figure out whether or not your idea was good based on you know, did they have a counterplay to it, right? He had his ult is like good counterplay, so that's how you figure out. So yeah, you could have just waited for someone to push mid though. That would be a better option, like you said, push mid instead. Because what happens when you push mid? Kog'Maw is gonna show up, or Vel'Koz, or Xin, and then you guys just go to Baron and then you threaten it, and then they're sad, right? So could have been Singed. Singed could have showed up mid.
So basically, because I mean, I don't want to say this game was all my fault, but I definitely had a big impact, like 3 or 4 times where I threw, right?
Right, exactly. Like this game should have been over. This game should have been over until like it should be like, even though you made that one mistake, it should still be over, right? You can still get the Baron with the 2 inhibs down, right? So yeah, you definitely could have like won this game by yourself, if that makes any sense, right?
Right. Yeah. So if I played if I was the better carry, would have won.
Exactly. Okay. So yeah, that is the way to look at it, right? Even though some games are like, sure, it's unfair that we should carry so much burden. It's just the way the solo queue is, right? You want to carry most of the burden solo queue so that you can carry games. Yeah.
So I have a question. Do you feel like, okay, some games I feel I have no control of how the game goes. Like I go to my bot lane, I go equal, or I kill them a couple times. Like I'll do whatever. I'll do okay. I'll do good. But their jungler, their mid, their top, the support even, they're all on the same page. They're just ramming everyone, killing everyone, and I have no control. So like I feel like in those types of games, which happen rarely, but they do happen, like obviously I can't turn that around. Even if I was Challenger rank 1 ADC, I wouldn't be able to turn those games around because, or do you think that every game is completely carryable and I should definitely be able to carry every game?
Realistically speaking, there are like games that are unwinnable, right? Realistically speaking, right? Like someone's like inting or some shit. Like, what do you do about that? You just like don't let it get to you, and you focus on improving, right? You focus on working on whatever you're working on, right? Yeah. Realistically speaking, it's impossible to win every game, right? Look at Faker. Faker is literally the best player in the world, and he doesn't have higher than like an 80% win rate. It's like 70 or 60, right? So if the best player in the world cannot win every game, then neither can you or I, right? So it's like in those types of games, you just have to like tell yourself, yeah, dude, like sometimes shit happens. We just like do the best we can and make sure like we learn something from it, right? So yeah.
Okay, so I guess what I should be trying to do as a student then is to spot out, I guess in the games that I could have carried, like this one, is to spot out why what I did wrong to lose the game.
Exactly.
About that, right? Because I was like,
don't worry about your teammates or anything like that.
Right. Because I was like 8-1, but I kept getting caught out. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was taking bad engages. Right.
Exactly. Like basically, you only care about yourself, right? You don't give a shit about any of these 9 players. I don't care if any one of my games get better, right? They can all like quit the game for all I care. I only care about how I improve, right? So don't worry about how these other guys are playing, because you know sometimes they'll be awful, sometimes they'll be great, but in the end, all that's like the only person who's in every game is like us, right? You and me.
Is you, right? Me.
So yeah. Don't worry about anyone else. When you watch replays, just be like, oh, I should have done this here, or I should have done that here, right? So like earlier today, I had a support who didn't take a Keystone Mastery, right? By mistake. Courage of Colossus, right? And we're playing Thresh. He's playing Thresh. So when we do an all-in bot lane at level 2, we lost because he didn't have the Mastery. Like, they won by like 50 HP. So it was like, dude, we could have won the game like off the get-go if he had the Mastery. But what did I do wrong? I healed through Ignite, right? When I didn't have to. So that was my mistake. I had to be more patient with my summoners, right? Don't use abilities when I don't have to. So I don't really, because like Thresh with no key stuff, like that's not gonna happen every game, right? That's gonna happen like very rarely.
Like
but me healing through Ignite is kind of a problem, so I work on that. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I think that's probably gonna be my goal from here on out. Taking lessons with you is gonna be like, I'll just like we'll just look at what I was doing wrong at the points where I was kind of throwing.
Sounds good. For when you play solo queue, right, and when you're working on stuff, for the laning phase, I want you to think, should we trade in this lane? And yes or no based on the healing supports, like sustained shields, like all-ins, right? You don't want to trade when you have engage unless you're engaging, right? Unless you're all-inning or finding a super big trade, something like that. And then when you do have shield support or sustained support, you do want to trade, all right? Small trades as much as possible to build up like an HP advantage. And then after lane, I want you to focus on defense and offense. Are you guys like winning? Do you want to be offensive, or are you guys losing? Do you want to wave clear, right? That's more, fall back to those until you find an opportunity and then you can like reason that opportunity out, right? Like say, oh, we can engage even though we're on defensive. We can engage because the AD carry is mispositioned, right? He's like too far forward. That would be a way to turn your defense into an offense, right? So those are the 2 big things I want you to work on: the matchup, trading, right? Figure out if you need to trade, because like it seems like lane goes really well for you as long as you can figure that out. And then the offense defense thing, right? The fundamentals of attacking and defending. So yeah.
All right, let me just. So for laning, you want me to focus on the matchup and whether or not to trade based on the champions.
Right. Based on the supports and
abilities, like healing.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and then or all in potential, I guess, right too. And then for the rest of the game, want to focus on the fundamentals of the game, right? So if we're on the offensive, and then I have one more thing about this real quick. If offensive, then that means what? It's pushing, vision, and
just remember push first before you do anything. Don't worry about anything else. Just push first.
Just push.
And then we can talk about options after. You can do that every time, right? Push first, push first, push first.
Okay, and then if we're on the defensive, then you want to wave clear.
Right, wave clear, wave clear. And then someone on your team. It's not your job. It's not the ADK's job usually to find these other options, right? It's usually like the support's job, right, or jungle's job, or mid's job, right? Not your job. Right. Sometimes it is, but rarely, right? Like 2 times out of 10, it'll be like, oh, you have an opportunity, but usually you want to leave it up to those guys. So you stick to the wave clear / pushing,
Okay. And then I just have a comment about that. Like whenever I play Vayne, if basically with her, like I'll be wave clearing, and then my team is fighting like a 4v5 or 4v4 or 4v5 or whatever, and I'll like finish wave clearing, and then I'll head to the fight. And by the time I get to the fight, like maybe 2 or 3 of our team is dead, and maybe one of them is dead, and then I go in with my ultimate and everything and clean it all up. So like that, I think, is a perfect example of like just focusing first on what you have to do. So like you have to wave clear, you have to push first, and then you can join whatever's going on.
Exactly. You wait for your opportunity.
Big, like you said, unless something huge.
Exactly.
Like fighting Baron, you have to get there right away.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I just didn't apply that into this game, obviously, after like or whatever else.
It was looking good until they started trying to find these crazy picks, right? 5-man bush.
Fell right into it. Yeah.
Whew.
I could have just been pushing.
But yeah, that's how you kind of counter those strategies. The basics.
Basics.
Always fall back to the basics. When in doubt, right? When in doubt. So.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep. Let me know any last questions, by the way.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Let me know how those kind of let me know how your games are going, right? As you're like focusing on these very specific things. And make sure that when you review your games, ask yourself, am I doing what I was working on, right? And then once you can do that like every game, right? You're actually making sure you're not trading when you're not supposed to trade, or you're trading when you are supposed to trade, and then you're always wave clearing first or pushing out first. Then it's like, once you can do that every time, you can say, now where do I go from here, right? Because then you'll be at a different rank. So.
Okay, so basically, real quick, I mean, even if I watch like a challenger AD carry like rank 1, whatever, rank 2, whatever, like challenger AD carry Korea, like I'm basically gonna find that, right? I'm gonna find if they're on the defensive, they're gonna be wave clearing and then joining fights if they need to, or if they're on the offensive, they're gonna be pushing and then unless something big happens.
Here we go. I'm gonna show you right now, like. Perfect example. We can take any replay. Here we go. Piglet versus Kalista, right? So we're gonna fast forward to mid game.
Mid game.
And then what's going on? Okay, it looks like they are on the offensive, right? Or maybe they want to scale, but it looks like Kalista's really weak. So some shit happens, right? What do? They push first, right? Always push first before going to do something. Okay, so they push first, and then he says, "What's the best thing I can get? Oh, I can get tower damage. I can keep pressuring." So he stays instead of backing or rotating, right? So he's getting tower damage, right? And then he's hitting. Notice how he's hitting the tower. He's not hitting minions. So this is how you learn. Like, I shouldn't be hitting minions, because I used to do exactly what you did, right?
So
I used to hit minions.
He like tanks a shot or two and no one's around him, so just keep hitting the tower.
Right. And then it's like, he can no longer keep pushing because the threat of their engage is too strong, right?
Right.
So this is how you back off, right? So he backs off, and he's like, we can still stick around because it seems like they're chasing us and we have Taliyah on the way. Sure, it's an even fight, 4v4. And then it's like, wait, he accidentally used Tio, I think, but the idea is he's still on the offensive, right? He doesn't want to buy for whatever reason. He doesn't want to rotate for whatever reason. He's still on the offensive. So what does he do? He pushes first, right?
He's gonna push.
He's gonna push, or he's gonna look for an advantage, right? So usually he's just gonna push, right? And it's like, okay, he's gonna hit these minions, and then maybe we can find something, right?
Yep.
It's all the same.
Not screwing around the jungle or anything.
Right.
He's just pushing.
And this is like the advanced version is when one side is pushing, the other is trying to wave clear or catch him at the same time, right? So they're doing it at the same time. Because if he just sits at his tower, it's gonna take longer to clear all these minions. So it gives Piglet more time to do something, and he doesn't want that, right? He's trying to wave clear as fast as possible, right? Without getting caught. So if this like stalemates for 30 minutes, Piglet's gonna win because he's scaling, or he's gonna get a bunch of dragons, or he's gonna get something, right? He's getting advantages by just being able to push in. So okay, he's getting some HP, right? Once he pushed in, now he's control. So he's just getting random HP. Waits until something happens, right? Jungle and mid died, so there's no help coming, so we can do whatever the hell we want, right? So he's just literally pushing without abandon because he knows it's just 2v2. And then once he realizes, maybe we can do something else because he can't get this for whatever reason. There's TP coming or something. He's going into their jungle, right? Always trying to do something, right? You see, he can't find these words here, so they're not face checking, but he's always looking for something, right? It's always gonna be same. You look at any replay, it's all gonna be the same, right? In terms of the basics. If you ever see them do something weird, it's because they know they have better options than what the basics are, right?
Right.
So they're winning trades here, getting HP. He's probably gonna have the back soon, because he has a bunch of money. I don't know what's going on, but he's just still pushing. Right? He's gonna back once he has an item advantage, right? He's gonna go do something else, right? Some reasons why he'd back is maybe his team died, so if he stays, he's gonna get collapsed on, right? Because he has less people. Maybe he has a huge item spike, which Infinity Zeo, right? Or maybe his team is backing because they have big items, and you want to back at the same time because it's like the same thing as them dying, right? They're not on the map. So once he can push all day, all of a sudden we can look to engage when they're trying to wave clear, right? It's the same idea. It's always the same concept. So the dude's dead. What's the best thing you can get? You can get the tower. You're just gonna keep fighting here because there's a team fight breaking out. But since he killed the AD carry, they're gonna win this fight, right? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna win the fight. Now, just by the basics, they like won the game, right? It's like you didn't see anything we didn't talk about today. It was all the same, right? So he engaged when they were trying to wave clear, right? Like here, they're trying to wave clear, and they face check. Well, somewhat face check, but they get engaged on, trying to wave clear. So it's the same. It's all the same. It's just that this is a lot more advanced than say like Malphite ult on a team trying to hit the tower, right?
Right.
So it's all the same. It's all the same concept, and that's the important part. Once you can figure out the concept, you can like get creative with it, right? Like this Tahm Kench ultimate into the enemy team, right? That's like that's like a way of engaging. So right, like we can take another replay if you want. Like let's see. What is Teemo going on here?
While you're looking for that, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you think? Okay, so like obviously I'm most comfortable on Kate, and then probably Tristana, and then probably Varus after that, and then I mean, I always like to play Vayne, but I know she's like really super hard to play. I mean, are those like if I had to pick 2 out of those 3, which would you? That are kind of like similar for me to concentrate, or are they all kind of all the same anyway? They're all AD carry.
I would say play like Tristana and like Caitlyn, or like Caitlyn, Varus, Tristana, anything like that. But basically like not Vayne, right? Why do we say not Vayne?
Because she's so mechanically intensive, I guess.
That and like
and she can get shit on early.
Can she like how good is she at defense and offense?
She can't wave clear at all unless you get shiv super
right.
early.
And she can't push at all, right? So it kind of it's kind of hard to understand how to play her without knowing the basics first, and then when you play her without knowing the basics, you're not learning the basics, right? So it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this champion, right? You're supposed to split and scale, but it's like hard to understand without knowing all of this beforehand, right? So I would say stick to champions that can like wave clear and stuff, right? So that's why people always say like Ezreal is super hard. Not only is he mechanically hard, he like also can't push or wave clear, right? So that's why people are like, play Ashe, play Caitlyn, play Varus. Tristana's good, right? Tristana's point and click, hard to mess up mechanically too. So I would say avoid Vayne, but any of the other 3 are like really good, right? So if you see in this example, they're on the offense, so he's gonna push. Or sometimes you can be temporarily on the offense when the enemy team like goes somewhere else, right? The enemy team invaded the bot side, so they can push right now. Even if they're losing, you can push if the other team's not there, right? They can't stop you. So what did they do? They pushed and then rotated, right? They're looking for something to do, right? Usually you don't go for tower damage unless you're like a sieging team, like Caitlyn, Xerath, Vel'Koz, whatever. So they're setting up a camp, right? And what happens when this is like the earlier example you said, you know, oh, what if they were camping and then I try to go mid and then they showed up? This is what this is, right? So yeah, this actually doesn't work if I recall correctly, but it looks really good at first, right? It looks really good at first, but it doesn't go well. But yeah, he got one shot. That's kind of awkward, and then the enemy played it really well, right? So
yeah,
this is like some insane team fight. The concepts are all there, right? You push first, and you look for something. They wanted to find the pick, and then the enemy showed up to wave clear mid / push, so they wanted to engage. So what was the counter engage? They had the TPs coming in, right? All the same concepts, right? All the same concepts. So say for example, blue team did not have TPs, guaranteed loss, right?
Right. So then
100% loss.
Team shouldn't have pushed up without vision.
Right. The blue team would not have pushed up in theory without having these TPs up. But since they had TPs up, they said this is our plan against the counter engage, right? We're gonna double TP in, and then focus the AD carry or something, right?
So basically, the higher you go, everyone has a plan for every little thing that happens. Basically.
Right. The more plans and counter plans you can have that are accurate, right?
Yeah,
the more invincible you are, right? And then this is like, since we're human, there's always a limit to how much we can think of, or we always make a mistake, right? Which is why there's no like perfect player in League. It's because it's like almost impossible to have like a perfect player. Because there's so many different things that can happen, right? There's so many different what's it called? Like outcomes, right? So, and not only that, but you know, someone can misplay mechanically and screw everything up, or someone may not have the mechanics to work out a plan, so you can't do that one, right?
Right.
So, right. So say red team's plan is right before Malzahar comes out, Deft has the ultimate, right? But Deft didn't know that, so he didn't ultimate. Or say his mechanics were off, so he ulted a second late, but he got ulted anyways, right? So, then you kind of die, right? So, look at this Jace though. That was sick. You see this Jace come out and he's just like flashy Q. Dude, that was fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So yeah, Jace. What is Jace doing when he's TPing in? He's not like blindfolded, right? He's watching. He's like, who am I gonna go for?
He's like, I'm gonna go for this guy and
yeah,
kill
exactly. Him. He's gonna go for the guy who's Malzahar ulted, right? That would be my plan, right? I'm gonna aim the backline carry that's Malzahar ulted. So yeah. And then they say, oh, we aim Xayah because TF is less useful, right? So that's how you figure it out. It's all very logical. League is all very logical, right? So if we fast forward a bit, it's gonna be the same thing, right? They're gonna be trying to push mid. One team is always gonna be trying to get mid priority, and the other team's either trying to fight it or get it back, right? So he's wave clearing, right? This is wave clearing, right? And then he's gonna try and like get like a sneaky push in here, right? Because he's Xayah, he can push really fast. So they're gonna try and engage on him, right? It's all the same thing.
And then Thresh gets him out. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So he can only do that because he has Thresh, right? If he didn't have Thresh, that would be a lot riskier.
Yeah.
And then different that's why matchups matter too, right? Kalista and Kalista's support can always run in and clear wards without too much fear because he can get ulted out, stuff like that. But yeah, it's always the same thing, right? He's just gonna push mid before doing something. That's just like the most consistent way to gain an advantage, right? So what are they gonna get? They're gonna get Dragon because it's gonna be enemy's team is taking too long to push mid. So yeah, you go back mid, go back to Baron. He's gonna do a top side, right? He's like, oh, it's probably too scary to go top, so he goes back mid, right? Goes top when he realizes nothing's going on. He doesn't think he can push another. That's fine, right? Oh, enemy team sneaks a Baron, right? So this is an example of not pushing out first. Right. This is like we said, the temple play, 20-minute Baron. This is exactly what this is. They have a pink on it, right? I assume they have a pink on it. And they're gonna just start it immediately while the enemy is pushing mid. They're pushing waves, right? So the stronger your Baron is, the more likely it is, right? So when you see like a Heimerdinger, Kalista, they can do it in the time it takes for someone to push out a wave, right? So then while the dude is pushing, they can just do Baron, right? So that's an example of what a non-standard play would look like, which is this. They're just going to try and rush down Baron. They probably think they're losing the game, so they got to do something desperate. But yeah, it doesn't go well because everyone just shows up and then gets stolen. Oh, game's over, right? So Yeah, so they did have a pink, right? So if you're like one dude in a game, all you need is one pink for the objective, right? And if someone has their pink on it, you can put it out here or put it somewhere else that's useful. But it's all the basics are the same, right? All the basics are the same. So yeah, make sure you can do that first, and then we can go from there.
Cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Any questions? Otherwise, I think we'll call it a day.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like hit my cap. Once I hit plat 2, like I kind of rocket. Okay, so like I was. It took me a while to get through bronze and silver and then gold, and then it took me a long time to get through gold. But then when I got to plat, I kind of like rocketed through plat like super quickly. Like the amount of games it took me to get through plat, I feel like it was like super less than all the other tiers or whatever. But then now I feel like now that I hit plat 1, I feel like because I went up like 20 LP and then down to 0 and then back up to like 25 and then now I'm back down to 0 and I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stay here because I don't know if I could. I'm not gonna be able to do it in like 2 days. Get Diamond 5, but I mean, I feel like there's so many more things that I have to learn to get into Diamond now. But yeah,
well, it's always good to, if you're not like trying to rush into Diamond 5, it's always good to like try and improve so you can like get it next season or something, right?
Right.
So yeah.
So with this whole rune change and stuff, that's happening in like 2 days, right?
Oh, I think it is. Actually, yeah, I think you're right.
It's happening like November 8th or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So then preseason until January or something, right? Early January?
Like January 17th. Yeah, something like that. It's like sometime during January. It'll be all preseason.
Is ranked still a good place to learn in preseason and stuff, or is it all just kind of like?
I mean, like, what other options do you really have, right?
There's really nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay.
So, I'm still gonna play ranked, right? There's always and even if it's like not ranked, like maybe if it's normals and sure, like things are like really weird, you know, Fiesta style, you can still work on like making sure all your skill shots are like 100%, or making sure that anytime you engage, it's a really smart decision, right? Something like that. So there's always stuff you can work on, but I would say, yeah, definitely play ranked if you want to improve the fastest.
Cool. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll probably schedule maybe another lesson in maybe another week or so, and then we could talk about the whole new runes and stuff or whatever else.
Sounds good. Let me know how your games go.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right, you too.